question, but I'm first going to ask this one because I think it's relevant. Um, so this is the question, are there differences in behavior traits or skill sets depending on the shape of the UAP? For example, is a tic tac different from a disc or an orb different from a triangle? Or are they maybe all from the same source, or do they seem completely different? Are there
Well,
differences?
there clearly there are differences, but they may be utilizing the same or similar technologies. And the difference between a disc versus a rod, or if you will, a cigar shaped, and that versus a triangular or even a boomerang, may simply be a result of the propulsion that is being used and the intent and purpose of the vehicle. So, for example, if I wanted a sports car, for example, let's say that the warping of space time in a localized area is finite. Let's say you have this bubble that can only be so big. Let's just for argument's sake, let's say 43 feet. You can only fit a certain size automobile inside that bubble, a vehicle, right? And so a disc, if you were to have this bubble, right, and you were to take the create a car that this bubble is surrounding you on all equal sides, the shape of the car you would want to make sure that you are uniformly fitting inside this bubble is a sphere, because the bubble is a sphere. But a two-dimensional representation is a disc. And if you're driving in a car that's shaped like a disc, and this bubble you want to protect you on all sides equally, a disc would be a perfect way to do that. So think about, let's say, a Corvette. You can fit two people in a Corvette, and you can, go really fast. But let's say a Corvette isn't big enough. Let's say you need a school bus. You need a lot of people to fit in and a lot of equipment. Well, you could put two of these discs together and have these, if you will, overlapping bubbles. But two discs together is really, you could just draw the line complete. You have now a cigar. That those two discs, you could have a propulsion unit here and a propulsion unit here, and now all of a sudden you've got these two bubbles that are still protecting you equally. Right. And then, of course, there's another shape and geometry that if you needed something really big, really, really big, like an aircraft carrier, let's say a triangle, right? So you know what? I'll let me show you something real quick. So, let's say this little, I don't know if you can see that here. That is your disc, and you've got this bubble surrounding your disc. Okay. Now, let's say you put another UAP here. Okay. And so now you have these interlocking bubbles. So here is the two, but really those two, what you can do is draw a line between them. And now you have that, right? So now you have this cigar-looking vehicle where you have a propulsion unit here on this side and a propulsion unit over here. There's another shape and geometry. Think of a three-legged stool that if I go out 90 degrees from the middle here, and I put another propulsion unit here, like that, okay, what that is in essence is nothing more than a triangle. Right? And so now you have the propulsion here, you have one here, you have one up
Guys,
here.
do you see that?
And now what you have are, think of a three-legged stool. You have propulsion units providing you equally all over the ship. And that's maybe why these triangles are so big. And that's one of the hypotheses. So
this is by far the coolest thing I've heard in weeks.
Well, it's speculation right now, but it seems to be, if you look at the principles of the type of energy needed to create these